Yo, what it do, everybody? This is your boy, the Black Gandhi, bringing y'all another video today. Today, it's going to be another review video. Last night, Money in the Bank, the SmackDown Live pay-per-view happened last night. And I'm just going to go ahead and give my opinions on it. I thought it was a 6.5 out of 10 show the whole night up until the Money in the Bank, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which saved the show for me, in my opinion. But let's get right into it. First, we had the historic match of the night, which is the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match between we had Charlotte, we had Becky Lynch, we had Tamina, we had Carmella, and then we had Natalya. Um, the only thing that really ruined this match for me, in my opinion, was of course the ending of it, which was obviously James Ellsworth climbed up the ladder, retrieved the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then dropped it down to Carmella. And then, by technicality, Carmella is deemed the winner, even though she didn't go up and grab it herself. But there's no rule against having somebody climb up the ladder for you to retrieve it and then give it to you from there. So, like I said, it was a good match up until the end there. It was a solid 7, a solid 7 out of 10. It could have been better, but it was obviously the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match for the women. So I'm not gonna judge it too harshly because they did their thing. I think they did their thing. It was a solid 7, but like I said, the ending of the match did ruin that match for me. It does ruining a history making moment right there. Unlike the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match, which could have been ruined by Charlotte when she went and attacked Sasha Banks outside of the cell. But of course, Sasha toughed it out and went on with the match. Unfortunately, was what came up short, but it was still a great match after it resumed. So that's my opinion on that. Next matchup, we had the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between the Usos and the New Day. This was also another good match. Another it was a solid match. I won't say it's a good match because a good match started with 7 for me, but it was a solid match. It was a 6.5 out of me for me. Decent back and forth action, but of course, it would have been a 7, but of course, the ending of the match obviously doctored some points with the Usos just simply walking out and giving the New Day the count out win. So nothing too much there. It was like I said, it was a solid match, but of course, again, the ending not that great. Then we had Naomi versus Lana for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This was a good match. I give this match a 7. Um, Lana looked solid in the ring for her to be in the ring pretty much for the first time on the main roster. Obviously, she had that match at WrestleMania a couple of WrestleManias ago, but I don't really remember that match. So I'm gonna really say that this was her in-ring debut on the main card. Obviously, there's tapes of her wrestling in NXT, but this was her coming out party on the main roster. And I think she did a solid job for her first match, especially going up against Naomi, a seasoned vet. It was solid. It was a solid match. Um, Nothing crazy, spectacular, but it was a solid match. And then obviously Carmella, obviously winning the Money in the Bank briefcase earlier in the night, was teasing possibly cashing it in on the match, but obviously she did not. So obviously Naomi retained the SmackDown Women's Championship, although Lana had her moments where she was close to being able to pull in the victory. So again, another solid match, a solid 7 for me. Then we had Maria and Mike Canales officially debuting on SmackDown Live, or in Maria's case, coming back to SmackDown Live. Nothing too much to make there. I'm not really excited about this just because obviously what happened when they came to TNA. They didn't really do nothing. Maria didn't wrestle that much, and when she did, she was just weaseling her way out of every situation. So, I'm not really excited. I don't know what their role is going to be. I don't know if Maria's there to wrestle or just to be, a over glorified manager. I don't know what Mike's role is going to be, what he's going to do, who's he going to target, everything like that. So there's that. Then we had the WWE title match, which I don't understand why this match was before the following match that I'm going to say after this between Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton for the title. Obviously, with Money in the Bank being in Randy Orton's town in St. Louis, Missouri. A lot of people were hoping that Randy Orton was going to pull it out, and it looked like Randy Orton was going to, but of course, obviously, the Singh brothers, doing their thing to make sure that Jinder didn't lose the title. Then they put their hands on Cowboy Bob Orton, who was sitting on the ringside with the rest of the legends. Randy Orton went berserk. Freaking gave I think he ended up giving both. Yeah, he gave both of them RKO. One on the outside, and then another through a table. So, you know, kudos to Randy Orton for doing that. But the Singh brothers did their job, giving Jinder Mahal enough time to recover and enough of a distraction to go ahead and capitalize with his little finisher. Pin Randy Orton 1, 2, 3, and Jinder Mahal retained the title there. This was. I'm only giving this match a 6 just because this is really only really action by Randy Orton all the way, and Randy Orton by himself. It just wasn't enough for me to carry the match to a 7, so I'm gonna give it a 6. So as you're seeing the trend here. We're at like a 6.5 on average right now. Like I said, I have no idea why this match was after the freaking WWE title match, but then we have Breezango versus the Ascension. This was obviously the worst match of the night. This was a freaking, honestly, like a 3 to me. No need to go in there. Breezango was able to win over the Ascension, and then finally the match that saved the night and bumped this back up to a 7 show overall, and that was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match between AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Baron Corbin. Obviously, the start was crazy because Baron Corbin ambushed Shinsuke Nakamura while Nakamura was coming out to his entrance, and Shinsuke was knocked out maybe like the first, I think maybe like 13 or 14 minutes of the match. I wasn't keeping track of time. Great back and forth action, using the ladder, doing everything that you're supposed to be doing in the Money in the Bank. Great moves all around. Very explosive. A very good match. And then when Shinsuke came back in, throwing all those Kinshasas, that was the awesome moment. I really thought that was going to be the moment where Shinsuke was going to be able to win the title. I did pick Shinsuke Nakamura to win the Money in the Bank before going into the match. That was a great, amazing standoff between him and AJ. But eventually, Baron Corbin was able to recover and be able to grab the Money in the Bank. So now he is Mr. Money in the Bank. And like I said, this was an 8.5 match for me, in my opinion. Maybe even I won't go 8.5. I'll give it an 8. This was a very good match. Very good match. And like I said, this was obviously the best match of the night, which is very upsetting because you had a freaking history-making moment for the SmackDown ladies for this women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and then you give us that ending. It's like it just completely defeats the purpose of the match. But at the end of the day, my rating for this for Money in the Bank was a 7 out of 10. Would I watch it again? Probably not, but it was a solid show overall. But obviously, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match was easily the biggest part of the match, and excluding the ending, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match was a pretty good match as well. It was a very good match. No knock on the ladies just because of how the ending was, but it is what it is. So that's pretty much it, y'all. If y'all enjoyed the review, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave a thumbs down. Leave your opinions if you watched Money in the Bank, if you're a fan of wrestling. And until the next one, have a great day, everybody. Continue to stay blessed. And this is your boy, The Black Gandhi, signing out. Peace.